for people in the future. I am Zen. You are you. Welcome. Uh, what should we talk about? The last video I had done was on frequencies and the Circus Maximus. If you can look that up, it's like the biggest circus back in Rome. Bread and circuses kind of thing. I don't know if it was a specific stadium or if it's just what they called it. Held like 180,000 people. Anyways, that was the last one, and I figured I would dip into the reset, the zombie apocalypse, and all those kind of ideas. And perhaps solutions. Maybe we'll get into some metaphysics, magic, religious points of view, scientific points of view, magical points of view. We'll see. See who shows up, see what we're going to talk about. But if you're new here in the future, I would maybe suggest fast forwarding or go to one of my other videos. Let's see. I'm kind of just, I already did a show today, did a couple yesterday. And my motivation is I'm trying to be motivated to make a video, and I keep kind of rehashing a couple of the same ideas, because I mean really that's all that anybody's really dealing with right now. Anybody's talking about. The Halloween masks, zombies, the brain deadness of people. We could probably look at this from the biblical standpoints, tearing apart the nuclear family, the homogenization of culture, the hive mind. Maybe we can do all that kind of stuff. We'll see. See who shows up here. As I'm just chilling in my office building. This is my office. It's cozy. I wouldn't work too well in a cubicle. Tried those things before. It's not good for mental health. I can understand why people get a little stir crazy. You ever watch those videos of people wilding out in their offices? Smashing keyboards and stuff. Yeah, I can see why. It's like sometimes I'll be watching, doing the Netflix, hanging out, looking at the phone, playing with the computer, and I'm just like, I can't even. Like sometimes I'll just leave my phone at home. A lot of people can't do that. I have to. Like, I have to just come outside, and as much as I enjoy bugging out and just going through a season of whatever on Amazon or Netflix, sometimes I'm just like, yep, I gotta go outside. It's gotta be some fresh air. And the sound of the water. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's a fountain. Pretty nice. Maybe I'll go play with the ducks. You guys could join me. Maybe we'll turn this into just me playing with the ducks and you guys seeing how hilarious they are. This is weird. Sometimes, whenever I do a video, according to this, no one shows up. And other times, like 10 people will be here as soon as I start. It's really weird. Strange things. Algorithms. Yeah, times a day. Who's paying attention? Who got the buzzer? But if they're even still subscribed to my channel. Oh, this is so funny. So behind me, there is a rental place for these ones. Let's see. It's a 3-wheeler with 2 seats, and then there's a 4-wheeler with 4 seats, and it's So I mean, this whole entire area is flat, except for right here. There's this bridge, but getting up the bridge, they always stop here as soon as they start to turn and go up this tiny little bridge. It's like a whole. It's like you sweat it out. It's only like 30 meters. Like a 2% grade. Gotta get off. Everybody got to get off and push. It's pretty funny. It's always funny when you see like 4 very fit dudes on one of these things, and they get here and they're just like, yeah, they might be strong, but they also weigh like 200 pounds a piece. You got like another 800 pounds to put up this tiny little hill. It's the whole thing, man. It's fun to watch. Fun to watch. Well, welcome. Guess I'll wait a little bit, see when people show up, because I don't want to have to rehash this reset thing, this zombie apocalypse thing. I've touched on it in a few of the videos recently, but I figured I'd do a longer journey into it. Or we could talk about, as I said, solutions at least for yourself, for your own mental health and hygiene, which I think that's most important for people, mental health, because everything else comes from your mental health, right? Seems like the people that are trying to make the society function apparently better, they have a lot of mental health issues. Some of them might just have broken brains. But I was listening to, if anybody's familiar, Beardy Man. He's a UK drum and bass MC DJ, one of the best in the world at beatboxing, and he's won like the world championships for beatboxing a couple years in a row. Back in I don't know, mid 2000s. Supremely talented. Anyways, so he was supposed to have a tour this year, and he put it off to next year. And he got on and he was explaining why. And he really got into it from a mental health standpoint, that he just I didn't really get where he stood on the whole thing with the with everything that's going on what side of the was it proverbial, the fence that he was on. I think I could kind of assess what he was agreeing with, what he knew. But he basically said that he just doesn't want to be out in a small, well, he plays giant rooms, like tons of thousands of people, and he's just like, I just don't want to be in that area. And I don't think it has anything to, and it was mental. He was like, mentally I don't want to. I don't think it had anything to do with what's going on from another perspective, if y'all understand what I'm saying. And he's like, and I've felt the same way. Like I've been out a couple times, and I don't want to go. It has nothing to do with fear. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's just like, I don't know, space to, some people have what do they call it? They don't like to be in large crowds with people. Like, I don't have that. Like, sometimes I like to be isolated by myself, introverted. Some people are very extroverted and they like to be around people. I don't really have any problem either way. Sometimes I prefer one, sometimes I prefer the other. But now I'm just good. I don't see the draw in it. It's like, what are you, an old man now? You want to go out and get drunk and listen to music and party? Well, yes, I do. I still enjoy all the things I enjoyed, but it's like the rigmarole and the whole thing. Like, there's not really music being played anywhere, and then you consider the atmosphere once you're in that place. I have yet to have been out to any place that plays music. I've been out to a couple bars, and it was just fine and dandy, small, not a lot of people, cool, chatted it up with everybody, good time, whatever. But like larger space with a lot of people, I was just like, I'm good. Just energetically, if we're talking about like mental health and energetics, if you're into like feeling energy, empathy, that kind of thing, just not digging it. It's not vibing, man. So it was really interesting to hear him say it. That I didn't listen to the whole thing. I want to listen to the whole thing, but it was like 15 minutes of him talking about it. And I wonder how many people, because it's easy to lie with statistics on how many people went and ate of the apple. Wink, wink. You know what I'm talking about? And how many people did not, and how many people will not eat of the apple. And you can lie with that, but then I wonder how many people just despite either way, whether or not they do enjoy apples or not like apples. How many people want to be out in a setting with a lot of people? Now, I've seen a lot of outdoor events. Go watch some football games, college football games. There's people out in droves filling up stadiums. That should be right. That right away should be enough of a signature, the sign of nature, of what's really going on. Like if there was 80,000 people all crammed together, and the possibility of everyone in there being very sickly afterwards would be 100%. But that hasn't happened, and it's not happening. So that should give people a little bit of encouragement, light to what the situation really is. But that's not happening, is it? No one's understanding that. They're just going, that can't be good. Yeah, I mean, outdoor events and, places like that, I suppose that might be cool. Interestingly, I've wanted to go to some sporting events. I've wanted to watch some basketball games. I've wanted to go to a football game because I haven't in years and years. It was just something to do, to be out, to be amongst the proletariat, amongst the masses. But alas, it's not really available. What's up, Esteban? Close is up in here. Oh, I just seen. What's up, Belborn? I don't even know who that is, and also I wouldn't answer that, even if I knew who that was. I'm not gonna make anyone's assessment on whether or not to seek mental help, because I mean, if I were to make it very simple, most people that are believing in the Bible, they mostly need mental help. Most people, like, what I'm talking about, Bible bangers. Most people that believe in science way too much to the point of scientism, like they're like, NASA is the whole and all of all things. Those people need mental help. Those people should see some professional help. So I mean, across the board, most people should probably see some professional help. But what those professionals would do to help them, I can't vouch for most of that, because psychiatry is industry of death, basically. You can't just assume those people would be more capable or helpful in assessing and unraveling people's I don't know whether they're psychopaths or narcissists or cluster B personality disorder or sociopaths. I don't know. I don't even know who that is. Esteban. No, I think I would probably say they won't exist. I mean, if I'm not going to get all into that because it will shut my channel down. So I can only allude to things. This is why I say eat of the apple, right? I can't really say those words because it will get flagged, and I don't want that to happen to my videos anymore because I've dealt with that too much. But I will say that it does if you watch the movies, Children of Men, go watch any of the shows that have been out. Like the whole thing was, I mean, look at what they've said about depopulation and making people, um, unable to carry a baby to full term. So there's screwing up the reproduction to people to be able to reproduce. So no, I don't think that. I don't think that at all. Uh, in the best case scenario, it will. Best case, it could possibly morph or alter or modify to some degree people's, I mean, our genome and our immunity to things is all over the map all the time, depending on what we've interacted with, the health of our bodies, et cetera, et cetera. So some things can, even though they're, you get like here, for instance, if people had an allergy to something, say you had an allergy to nuts, right? You could get over those allergies. People have done this. You don't just eat a package of nuts because you're allergic to them. You would take one, and then that'd be fine. Then the next day you would eat two of them, and you would slowly increase the amount that's in you because you're going to be basically getting that whatever you might be allergic to. So you could get into the antibodies and antigens that are going on in your body, and you would become not you wouldn't have an allergic response to those things. So in the best way, we could become somewhat hybridized. Perhaps I'm okay with hybridization of anything. Gene modification, like genetically modified, I'm not okay with. I think that's really peculiar because there's ways of doing it naturally, and then there's ways of doing it through inorganics and artificial ways, which does not seem to fit within the organic human system and bettering whatever it means to be human. I don't see that. Yeah. I mean, I would. Let's stay about it. Yeah, I would like to speak more uh, directly on everything that you're saying there, but hopefully me just alluding to the ideas will capture what I'm saying properly. Yeah, it'd be easier if I could just say it the way I want to. But hey, you know what? For me, it's just more fun. I get to play around with a little bit of language and try to use analogies and allegory to speak something, which is fun. Something to do. Keeps my brain firing. Uh, Am I vegan? No. That is the most idiotic, stupid thing anyone could do. That was one of the first. That was one of the first moves. I mean, if you look at everything that's going on, no, that is the first initial way of causing people to plasticize themselves. It's not healthy. It's not good. It's not helpful to the planet. It's a complete farce. In no way is it healthy or good. And all I can say to that, to people that are like, oh yes it is you're gonna go kill animals and all that. Okay, just settle down with all that. To those people, because I've done that video 100 times for people, and they just don't listen all the way through. But the simple idea is the people that are healthy, that are so-called vegan, are not vegan. They're vegetarian. I can almost guarantee that. They don't go and find vegan products. Maybe the clothes they wear, maybe some of the things they think they're buying that are green and healthy, even though they're not. In the law, when you make a green car or you make an electric car, everything that goes into producing that is not. I mean, where do you think that electricity is coming from? How do you think they make the batteries? How do you think that it's not? It's actually dirty. It's a dirtier process. So nonetheless, these people that claim to be vegan, most of them are eating a healthy diet of living fruits and vegetables, and their amounts of intake of literal vegan, plasticized, registered, trademark products are minimal. But if the people that have been on the vegan kick to consume vegan product, not organic, growing seed-bearing fruits and vegetation, but products made that plasticize people's consciousness, their bodies, and destroys everything about them. There are plenty of people that are on very healthy diets, but they claim veganism. But the people that have, I guarantee they're falling apart. So no, I was vegetarian for 10 years. And vegetarian diet, very helpful. I put on weight. I got stronger. I stayed healthy. Now, just because of where I live and because I have a different perspective on consumption and food and things, and where I live, no, I don't strictly eat just vegetables anymore. But I surely avoid at all costs anything that might be labeled vegan, because I'm very well aware of how that's a huge detriment to society and to health. Wait, Balborn, you asked because he went to see me? I've never met the dude. I don't even know who that is. What you talking about? But instead found a man. Oh, nice. Well, I don't know. I don't know who he is. I don't know. I've never even met the guy. But so that's why multiple ways I can't claim that he needs mental health or not. If he found somebody that energetically was Jesus-like, from an esoteric standpoint of what you think Jesus is as imagination, and somebody that embodies whatever spirit and energy that is, good for him. But again, most people that would, Jesus is coming back, and they Bible bang, and they read it exoterically and believe it to every word was written by a man. So I don't know. I don't even know who that dude is. But if he does attribute meeting Jesus to me, good, bad, and different, who knows? I don't know. If he went to see me, I've never met him. I don't even know. Again, I don't know who it is, and I'm pretty certain if I'd met him in person, it would probably be in passing somewhere. But no one's ever I don't think I've hung with the dude. I mean, if he came and seen my channel and chat with me on my channel under a different name, perhaps, I don't know. Is he helping people? Is he making the world a better place? Good. Is he damaging it? I can't. I will not be held accountable for his actions. I don't control him, good or bad. Am I at a? I mean, sure, whatever. Am I at a park? Yes. I am hanging out on my hammock. I just been finding being outside at the park, hanging out with the ducks, being near the water has been very, as we're getting into mental health and comfort. I just, we just had a hurricane here and kind of been inside sweating, and shit's been, damaged. The city, nothing's open up. And, for mental health, get outside, take my shoes off, get on the ground, get a little sunshine, fresh air. Yeah. But Balborn, Balborn. Yeah, thinking about the name, I think I might know who you're talking about, which I certainly have not met in person. If I think I know who you're talking about, and I know he's watched some of my videos. If I'm thinking of the same person, but yeah, whatever, ever. And if it is, he's a cool dude. I don't watch. I wouldn't say I'd watch his videos or anything. I've seen a couple of them. Yeah, Esteban, of course. Yeah, I mean, so for anybody that doesn't know, I used to have about 3,500 videos, and because YouTube was screwing my channel, I put most of them under lock and key, so now I only have maybe 50 to 100 up right now, because I put about, what, 3,000, 3,000 something on the back burner. So, and those ones cover a lot of different things: magic, religion, etymology, esoterica, the occult, the sciences, whatever, a lot of different things. And I will be re-releasing some of those, and maybe even going over some of them and consolidating maybe 2 or 3 videos and making a short one. Like I'll take maybe 3 hours of video and try to condense it down to 30 minutes, because I know my early stuff, because I wasn't on camera, and it was interesting when you first start talking on camera. It's different. And then I became more comfortable with it, so I could probably make it a little less. I wouldn't need 3 hours to explain something. Colin, did my videos go into the Jedi's? Yes, the Dead-Eye Jedi's, huh? Uh, to as the world as a illusion of Matrix? No, no. I mean, if they're from very many different standpoints. But I mean, to break it down simply, I mean, I don't doubt that the world is completely made up of mind mind stuff. That we live in a metaphysics realm. Mind creates matter. However, like for our mind to be strong enough to make this tree disappear behind me, that's gonna be it's gonna be a whole lot of, I mean, if you've opened up your mind and done psychedelics and things, and you probably made some weird things happen, or if you've played with magic to any degree and you're very focused, you can make some strange things happen with physics. But to do like major overhaul of a realm, no, that would take a lot. However, again, uh, the the mind that produces the matter. It's a mind over matter. But there is the materialistic and objective worldview, which is that the world exists. It's solid matter. It's there. You know, it's there. It's not. Can we alter it? Can we change it? Can we shape it, form it? Of course, of course. But to somehow think you're going to turn a log into you can start a log on fire, but you're not turning it into water, right? That kind of thing. So yeah, from the standpoint, starts with spirit realm into the mental realm, then the physical realm. So, and we can use, and in reverse, we can use physical things to have an effect on our mentality. There's all sorts of things we can do physically, things we eat, things we interact with, whether it's physical, and you can interact with somebody verbally, mentally, and that could change the way that you perceive the world and the way that you physically act. But you could physically act something out if you dance, if you play sports. It would change the way that you think about things. So it works in both directions. Well, the Jedi do die in the end, right? But what's to say there's an end to anything? I just found this spot the other day. I never put my hammock up over here, and it's a very cozy little area. It's I get in just enough through traffic from people hanging out, so I get that kind of little bit of human interaction here and there. And I got the water right there. See, check it out. I'll show you. It's got that fountain there, and I got a museum over to my right. I got some nice palms over here. Yeah, not bad, not bad. But the other places I go, there's I think I like the maybe the water element being here. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Colin. Yes, I upgraded. I think this would be an upgrade from PBR for some people at least. Oh, and I don't know if I told you, like, I know I've talked to you a couple times since you gave me the duckets. I bought some wine the other day. So that was my upgrade from shitty beer. Oh, that just, and there's the bubbly on top too. And I do wonder, because they call it the champagne beers, and there's different types of yeast. And I noticed that the bubbles in this are always a little smaller, which are kind of like champagne bubbles. If you never brewed beer, I highly suggest giving it a shot. It's really interesting because once you get into it, you don't, like, most people do it because they think they'll save money. You don't really save money. It becomes a wash because you'll get into it and there's more equipment that you want to buy, and then there's like, oh, I want to get the better yeast, I want to get the more expensive, I want to try honey rather than sugar, I'm not going to make it more expensive, and you end up spending about the same. Maybe, you would spend a little less if you made it simple and just made some simple beers, you save money. But that's as far as like the process and making the beer and like, yeah, I made that. It's pretty awesome. Highly suggested. If you got the space to do it, go for it. If you don't, hey, just bottle up get some grape juice and make some wine. But yeah, there's so many different types of yeast. It's alchemy, man. It's like a whole thing. Playing around with chemistry, turning a grain into this. Awesome. Oh, no, Colin. No, hey, listen, I know you were. We talked about that a little bit. Yeah, I hear you. And again, as I was saying before, if I had my druthers, even if I made lots of dough, I'd still drink this occasionally, but I would mix it up. But my cash flow these days, not on the it's not, I ain't Daddy Warbucks right now. So you got to keep it simple, keep it cheap. And that's somebody, when somebody sends me something and says, dude, go get yourself, like the other day, I hadn't really eaten in a couple of days, and somebody's like, sent me some duckets, and I was like, dude, just go buy a nice meal. I'm like, okay. So I mean, rather than take the money and buy something garbage and then put a little bit aside for something, I was like, well, that's what they said use it for. That's how I work with energy. Somebody's like, do what you want with it. Well, some of it go towards some beer, some food, and give some away to somebody. Oh, Sierra Nevada is one of my favorites. Yeah, Sierra Nevada. And if you want a big one that they have, it's the what's it called? Torpedo. That's about like 8 or 9%, right? It's an IPA, so it's a little bitter, but Sierra Nevada is one of my favorites. And interestingly enough, there's I believe there's only like 3 or 4 breweries, like major, big ticket, the big breweries that are in the U.S. that do unfiltered, unpasteurized beer. And if I'm not mistaken, Sierra Nevada is one of them. You should look this up because it's kind of a pretty important thing. I used to kind of try to push people to find unpasteurized, unfiltered beer, because pasteurization and filtering is not really helping with what beer should be doing in its totality for you. To add some good bacteria to the cleansative nature and the probiotics and all this and all the living stuff in it. So most things have been filtered and pasteurized. Still beer, you're still getting some effects from it. Still decent for you. But yeah, look it up. Look up the major breweries that are unfiltered, unpasteurized, and that's the way to go. And I off the top of my head, I thought it was Sierra Nevada, Rolling Rock, and I thought it was this. I thought it was Miller that was at least unpasteurized. I know it's filtered, but I don't know. You just clocked out, got yourself. Yeah, I do wonder what people are going to be doing if we take this into the next logical progression of thought here. What are people going to be doing soon? As I see it on a very micro scale in this city. As far as small businesses going nowhere, closing, like it's really interesting. Between the 18 months of nonsense and then this hurricane we just had, and then knowing all of the musicians and service industry people, bartenders, people that work in kitchens, they're closed. They have no employment. They left, And then the places that are open, they didn't just become magically more busy. So there's a lot of places that are closed, man. So I wonder what that's like on a macro scale, on a mass scale. There's all sorts of places that all sorts of businesses are closing. And it's not like magically Walmart's just going to start hiring more people, because while there are outlets for for working in the Amazon shipping division, or some places more Walmart's opening up, they're also at the same time, a lot of that is becoming technologically driven. That the jobs that used to be done, no, there aren't going to be cashiers very soon, right? There's not going to be cashiers soon. There's not going to be, stocking the shelves. That's going to be automated. I'd seen a video just a couple days ago. I don't know where they were driving through. Could have been the UK. It could have been the US. I don't know. But the person was getting gas, and they go, "Would you look at this?" And it was the front of the store. It looked like a normal store, but it was just all LED screens showing what the inside of the store looked like. But you couldn't go inside. It was a giant, like one of those machines where so you see it, and then you go over here and you start pushing some buttons, and you order what you want, and then it basically just, there's no one working there. It just like getting a candy bar or a Coke or something, and it goes through one of those things. You just go over here, hit the buttons, and so there's like no employees. The only employees for that place, there might have been one person working just in case something went awry with the gas, or maybe somebody was on call because there was nothing for anyone to do. And the only people that are going to have to be employed there in the future are the trucks that are delivering the stuff and then putting it into the system. That's all. And then even that will start to go away because there's going to be self-driving cars soon enough. So as we get further into this future, who's going to be employed? What's everybody going to be doing? There's not just going to be like new. It's not going to be new stuff to do. It's not going to be new jobs. The only jobs really that should exist are musicians, artists, and people cooking, because you want someone cooking your food. But yet you can go to restaurants now where everything's pretty much automated. I don't want my food or my music. Like, I like analog music. I like someone cooking my food. I like someone serving me my food. I don't want that all digitalized. I mean, certainly that's fine once in a while. I like some digital music. If I just want some ramen noodles with this, and I'm just eating real quick, I'm rushing somewhere. I don't mind that, but the whole idea of humans interacting with humans and service industry stuff, That's really the only thing that would exist in the future. Everything else can be very automated very quickly. Oh, Colin, that's cool, man. Yeah, some people are enjoying when they went from working. So the office buildings are enclosed because they don't need the offices anymore. So that's actually a good thing in a lot of ways. And people get to be in their comfortable home environment rather than going to a cubicle. So a lot of people are really enjoying that. It's helping them actually do more work, and they can take care of their children, and they can be, and then during your day you can still get other things done that you need. You're not like stuck in an office. So for a lot of people, you know, that's an advantage. That's an upgrade. A couple of my friends have been, they lucked out. They got into a job that they were always working remotely anyways. So they flew a lot of places, and they would have to do, once in a while they'd have to be somewhere to, do trainings or whatever. But most everything they were doing was online anyways. They've been doing that, and so like for them it was like they were used to working from home. Do everything online. They got phone calls. They got meetings on the phone and Zoom and all that. They were doing that anyways. Other things that ain't gonna work for. Balborn. Hey, Again, bro. I mean, you work with that. Again, I don't know who that is. I've never met the person. Them claiming that I brought them to Jesus or God, like that's ridiculous. Because I don't preach the Bible, nor do I think it's a good idea. You know, I already got too much on my plate to be helping other people out with whatever their kind of insanity they're dealing with. So I mean, good luck to him. Good luck to you. Help him that, man. I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. Since for the past, man, I've been enjoying the luxury of not having to deal with relationships with females. It's nice. You know what? I've been on the other side of that, which is funny. I've been on the side where I had chicks that were very very stalky at me. It's interesting. A lot of guys you never dealt with that. It's weird. Dealt with that a few times. Hey, whatever. I mean, good. I mean, hopefully he fucking chills the fuck out. I don't know what to tell you, man. Wish I could help, but soulmates. What's up, Caleb Caldwell? Well, yeah, man. I mean, I don't, again, Val, whatever, like dangerously obsessive. I know, I know other motherfuckers that have a that obsessive type personality. I know people like that. There's degrees to it. Everybody has that kind of a slight affection for certain things in their life, and they're OCD about. But yeah, and I'm not gonna go if the person's that's nutso. I'm not really interested in going and watching their channel and shit. I'm good on that because I don't have enough energy or time, and I don't make enough money to be trying to fix somebody that is obviously by your terms here, sociopath or psychopath. Hey, talk to God about that. I guess talk to Jesus. I got. Everybody knows me here well enough to know how the fuck I talk. ain't nobody ain't nobody gonna think I'm gonna say anything different. Don't listen to me. Don't follow me. I don't know this motherfucker. Hey Caleb, what kind of places? Right now, it's I don't know how they got it. What up, Crow? I don't know how they got it set up, but I think lots of restaurants. There's a certain like big venues. Like if there's over a certain amount of people, like I don't think you can go to sports. I don't think you can go to sports events, and I don't think you can go to big venues. And I don't know if there's like indoor. If there's 100 people indoor seating, you have to. It's like how all the arbitrary rules work. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not impressed with any of it. Oh, Colin, my music. Yeah, it is some interesting shit, isn't it? Yeah, I got like if I were just to give you music that I made with one singular intention of making like a hip hop beat and I just played it, it'd be different than when I'm fucking around. Oh, Balborn, no worries, man. I no, I got man. I've dealt with it. I've dealt with the you know, like for instance, I have people call me that have problems in their life, something like that. You know what I mean? Like I have people call me about very major issues in their life, psychological, and people they got to deal with. People call me and ask me all about, psychological things and narcissism and how to deal with cluster B people and I've had to deal with that myself. I've I'm not gonna get into it now, but like I've had to deal with people that just somehow find find themselves in the same place as I am, which is just profound. You know, it's just mad creepy. What are you gonna do? It's like I don't. But on top of that, I wonder if he ate of the apple. You know what I mean? Because that can affect someone's brain too. There's all sorts of things that are happening with people's brains if they got the walkery jabby flabbers. That can do things to people. And then people's upbringing, deep baseline psychological traumas, post-traumatic stress disorders, childhood traumas are major for people because those can creep up like in life. And then there's all sorts of things that how people go about that. I mean, I do another whole video on that. I have a few that I'll re-release on cluster Bs and narcissism and shit, and explain how that comes about. But even if you know how these things come about for people, doesn't mean that they can or are capable of addressing the idea of mostly if I made it as simple as I could for you, people want how to make it as simple as possible. It's not that people desire a lot of power. People want to have some feeling of security and power, like just enough to like if you were always off balance because your parents were, because a lot of people had narcissistic parents, whether however you want to break it down. You got all sorts of things that go on in there, trauma-based mental things. You have your hover parents and your helicopter parents. And then you got what's going on through the media and that kind of. But all of it for most people breaks down to self-empowerment, self-worth, and just personal energy. And again, when people look outside into hey, I can find it in a book, and there's somebody else that has it, or there's this book that has it. They've kind of missed you're supposed to read books. You're supposed to interact with other people and take little bits and pieces and weave them into your path in your life. But it's about stability, balance, mentally. Some people are way off balance that way, and to even if you explain to somebody why they are, think of it this way. I used to kind of coach basketball and soccer and stuff, and I would see some kids that were shooting a basketball really awkwardly, and just because I could tell them why and how, it would take a very long time for them to retrain their body to turn their foot in, to drop their knees, to get their shoulders back. All of those those are secondary to the mentality of why are they doing that. And as soon as they're in any kind of duress, they're going to go back to how they've already done it. So they're not going to actually learn how to shoot the basketball correctly, right? Same thing mentally. People have ways of thinking. You can't just immediately. I mean, I've known people to use, in a kitchen, using a knife. When people put their finger on the blade, if they're using a chef's knife, and they put their finger on it, that's wrong. You don't do that. It's unsafe. But it's so ingrained that every time I'd be in the kitchen with someone, I'd have to tell them, remember, you have to pinch the blade, and here's how you hold it, here's how you control it, it's safer, blah, blah, blah. But just because I say that once or twice it's not going to change their mentality or their physical, how they do that. That takes that's like a whole fucking ding. Mm. So yeah, there's that. But no worries, you're not bringing me down, man. It's all good. Well, thank you, Colin. I've crafted this crazy, quirky, goofy brain over many lifetimes, many strange experiences. Some people say another lifetime. Like some of them are actually like dream worlds where I've lived other lives and I've learned things. And some, when you say other lifetimes, you mean I mean like if I lived in a different house, a different city, had different friends. Yeah. Wait, hold on. This is a buddy of mine. He he's got the big boat out, and he it's one of those. What do you call those? Those really long boats that they usually have in the canals in Italy and that other city. What's the name of it? Anyway, so he's got one of those out there, and I usually say hi to him. He did not see me though. Oh, you said my music. I thought you meant my mind, but yes. Yes, well, the music is made somewhat from my mind. I think it's the influence of perhaps cartoons, video games, lots of different hip-hop, so many different, whether it was pop, hip-hop, pop, rap music, or underground hip-hop, and then a lot of jazz, classical, a lot of jazz, a lot of hip-hop, jazz, hip-hop, video games, cartoons. Hold on a second here. So the sun has made its way to a point where I gotta kind of, it's just coming through the trees. And this is the only downfall to the spot that I found here. There's a little bit of glare on the screen. So what else you guys want to get into? Where do you want to dig into more philosophy of things? Different types of philosophy, psychology kind of things. We do that. I like philosophical conundrums and queries. Like a lot of people ask me like what is my like somebody asked me yesterday that if I have some like goal, like life goal, and when I say no, it's like it sounds kind of apathetic, and I have to explain it in a very big way. It's kind of more Zen Buddhist, right? That like there is just now kind of thing. That yes, while I do have plans for the future, that they seem so for what? I have ideas and things, but like making a larger plan for the future, there's too many variables. I can imagine things and hopefully things come to fruition, but in the way that I look at things, I'm very everything is I'm not a nihilist, and I'm not apathetic. I'm as close to a nihilist and apathetic as you could be, in a sense that it is a zero-sum game. Life is a zero-sum game. But the thing that keeps me from being like that is that I already know that it's not. That 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 I've gotten out of body enough, and I've seen in other realms, and I understand spirit, what's the spirit realm is, and spirit is, and what my body is, and what I am inside of my body. So like educating and learning is very important. So, but if it's a zero-sum game and I'm a nihilist and I don't believe in anything, why would I learn anything? There'd be no purpose. See, but I do, because I know that there is more to everything. There's always more. There is evolution of consciousness. There is a evolution of some sorts to our species, to myself, whatever myself is. But all in all, like, it's like, hey, here we are. What to do? Hey, Colin. Yeah, I hear you about the genuine fake. I mean, I think Alan Watts, when he said that, I think he was more. I think he was referring to the book. Like, if someone would write a book, How to Be a Genuine Fake, saying like, it's like, what is there to do, ever, in any moment, ever, really, truthfully, like right now. Like, I could go play with those dogs. I could sit here. I could, you know, I could go jump in the water. I could take a piss. I could go back and take a nap. There's an infinite number of things we could do. What motivates you? What is the now moment? That kind. Getting into those kind of teachers. Everything's right now, and then you got and they're always. Those are the weird ones. They're always Indian, and they always got funny names. And while they give some great teachings, you can tell that they don't really believe all their teachings. Um, but yeah, playing in the illusion for sure. I mean, in what aspect are we producing it and making ourselves, and then how are we interacting with it? Like, did we plot out the board and the whole game, and then we hit a button and say, forget that we did this. But we made it. I did this whole world that I made, right? And you did yours too, right? And then you're just finding your way back through the thing that you already know how it works. I kind of think it's that way sometimes, but if you would never, if you were connected to God or that thing, the Universal Prime Creator, the UPC, right? If you were part of that, you would always leave yourself an out. You'd always have an escape button. A buddy of mine has an escape button right here on his arm, on his thumb right here. It's pretty funny. You would always. I mean, like, think about it. You made your body, right? And so you gave yourself on board this craft that we live in, this body, this temple. Wouldn't you give it away to, like, you have inside of you, like literally inside of you? It's like, oh, it's inside of you. And then somebody says that to you, and they think they think what it means is in your mind. You can figure it out. It's all in your heart. Like, no, like literally on board, you have your urine, that you would never run out of gas. You would never run out of your perfect medicine. You would never run out of liquids. You could always recycle that and get yourself to a higher state. Like, in that way, it's like, of course you made yourself with that you could. People talk about making an over unity engine, using magnetism or whatever to make something over unity, or at least unity, which is, they say, impossible because of the second law of thermodynamics, blah blah blah, and everything tends toward entropy, which is untrue. So if you get rid of the nonsense of entropy and think about how you would produce yourself, is like, especially if you've done a long fast, you know that quite the opposite happens on a fast than if you kept consuming things. People that consume a lot tend to expire earlier, so the things they put into themselves to build themselves actually remove and decay and become the things that are in the way of being over unity to be immortal, everlasting, whatever. So I think that's an interesting thing when you start to realize that the second law of thermodynamics is trash. They pretty much all are, because they come from and I can explain it pretty simply, because these people that are from the scientific community say that nothing exploded and created order out of everything, but then dissipates to disorder. How did the most random things create something so full of order that this tree grows, that a seed? Somehow something exploded and it produced a tree that produces fruit, that then makes seeds, that then produce a tree that makes more fruit. That seems to, it's like whenever you make a plant, when you have a flower, you have perennials, with annuals and perennials, right? And the next season they come back. Well, that is then a balanced system, right? It doesn't just die; it comes back to next year. And so this idea that if everything came from an explosion of complete chaos to making so much order, then it goes to entropy. Entropy only exists when things are when there are obstructions in a system. So neg entropy seems to be more of what goes on in the world. Neg entropy means evolution, because hear me again. They say nothing exploded, chaos ensued, and then perfect order came, then it goes to entropy. But in the same breath, in the same sentence, they say evolution occurs. Evolution, nothing, perfection, then evolution. But then when does the evolution stop? That right there, in and of itself, is a blatant contradiction of their own theory. Evolution occurs, then evolution occurs. Then entropy isn't the answer. Evolution would be. Or you can just get rid of both of those terms and use the terms morphing and neg entropy. Things seem to morph or alter. They change form, not better, not worse, and it's neg entropy. Why entropic? Evolution cannot in its in the mathematical equation of evolution, you cannot include entropy. It would ruin the equation. Correct? Exactly. The math doesn't work on any of it. Yeah, I made videos on that a long time ago. So you got the Saturn and the moon matrix, and then you got the recycling through the moon. A lot of people say the moon is like the Pac-Man thing, and the moon recycles into the realm. I mean, there's a lot of ways to look at that. I don't really want to do that entire talk right now, because it's just a long one, and we'd have to go through the system that we live in being perhaps on top of a computer board, and the plasma and the moon and the sun being part of an electrical system. And then we'd also have to do it from a spiritual system realm, and what it would mean to, rebirth yourself rebirth, I guess, would be into the realm. And would it be the same, or would you go to a different realm or something similar? There's a lot of variables that go into that. But it seems like because if you've been out of body, if you've ever had if you've ever astrally traveled, had an out of body experience, then you understand what the body is. And if you've ever went to any of these um, portals. The stars seem to be portals. The moon seems to be a portal. And if you've gone through one of these wormholes, they'll show you in the movies. That's exactly what it looks and sounds like. The whooshing and the sounds and the lights and that whole thing. Yeah. So I trapped back. I don't know if it's going to the light or going to the darkness. I don't know. I think there's more than just what you'd call light or dark. I think you probably have the choice of multiple colors. I think you just go to a different spectrum of your choosing. Yeah, what up? What up, Anki? Um, yeah, I did a. Yeah, I'll try to re-release those. I did a couple of those maybe 2 or 3 years ago on the whole breakdown of the Saturn Moon matrix. Uh, but my understanding now is a little more in depth of what I think the moon to be, and also where I think Saturn exists. Saturn and when we look at the realm and what I think it is now and how it's shaped. So I think there's a little more to it. I'll do that another time, and I'll try to find those videos and re-release them. What's up, broski? How you been? No, it's just a nice little cozy area. Yeah, I got the sun is perfect. Yeah, man. Good to see you. Yeah, there we go. So, Enki, I think you're right on with that. I think the reason that we see in the movies, you always have the old intelligent grandfather black man figure, and the Saturn black, and the original root race was the blue black people, and that was the realm that was pushed out. So the original sun was Saturn, being the oldest sun, and that's actually got pushed out to the larger ring on the outside. So we'd get into, we're in the second ring, right? Well, actually third. It'd be the third dimension, third ring. So you got the Polaris, and where Mercury is in the middle, Pole Star and all that, and then you've got the ring inside of that, which is where you'd find the Aryans, the Aryan race, the blue-eyed, blonde-haired kind of, and then the one outside of that would be the place where you'd see where, like in Atlantis, where the Indians, the dots or the feathers, I think both would have come from this realm, the red root race. So the white root race was the youngest. Then the ones that are here now, the earthy based. So the Aryans are the air based, and then we're the earth based. The red dots, stronger, bigger people, right? And that's this realm. And the next one outside of that is the yellow realm, where the Asian people, the water people, fish people, right? Very fishy. Asian people have that, fish, and they get the koi fish and all this. That's part of I think they're of that race. So that's Lemuria. And then outside of that is where we have the largest ring. And each one of these realms has a sun and a moon, except for the middle realm, which is Mercury, which Mercury is the sun and moon. This is why, depending on who you ask, there's either the seven, in alchemy, there's the seven original things, right? Or now we have 9. So the 9 planets, right? So it depends on, but it's still 9. It's not 8 or 6, right? Or 10 or 6, right? Because Mercury, as a dual, a masculine and feminine, as a hermaphroditic being of both, that's the sun and moon in the middle. And then we have our sun and moon here, and then you've got what you'd call Saturn and was it Saturn and Jupiter on the outside? That's the sun and moon. That's the way I've kind of learned it. That's the way it seems. It feels that way. So that's why when you look at the movies, the personification of Saturn is the older black man that has all the knowledge. And this is why when people say, oh, when you get into like the Hebrew Israelites and Kemets, and the people always saying, well, the black people taught all of the white people how to tie their shoes and how to bathe. It's not completely incorrect. It was just that that root race came out prior, so they were the older species. Hopefully that makes sense. What is going on, Mr. Braintree? I think that's a child, not a cat. It does sound like a cat though, doesn't it? It's a cat yell. No shit, that is so funny. It does sound like a cat. Now that you keep saying that, very interesting. She, the mother had cat-like features. I only got a glimpse of her, but she looked very Asiatic, very Asian and brown, Asian and melanated. And she had kind of more Asian eyes. Cat. The baby might have, depending on the father, could have been fish and cat realm. Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. I couldn't see the baby because it was in the stroller, but that was a baby. And as soon as you said that, wow. Oh, cats, yeah. Boots and cats, dog. Boots and cats. Mm. Mm. What else? What else on the agenda here? What have we covered? A lot of fun stuff today. It is what, Thursday? Thursday? So it's autumn now, which is interesting. When people say that the weather isn't modified, all I can say is this: 2 days before the fall autumn equinox, it was 92 degrees, and yesterday and today it's been 73. It just dropped 20 degrees. Come on. I mean, tomorrow it's still going to be back up in the 80s, but point is, like, yes, granted there was a full moon, etc., and that could be pulling some of the energy. I get all that, but it does seem little. It was a stark change. Like enough where I have shorts on and I almost consider putting on actual pants. Braintree, oh, you're doing the oonts? The oonts. Yeah. You get the boots and cats and the oonts. Well, yeah, you go. Somebody did look up on the YouTubes. Look up knee-high boots and cats. Knee-high boots and cats. Yeah. It's pretty funny because they edited the video together where you'll see a cat and then they see boots, and every time they go knee-high, and then you'll see a bunch of knee-high boots. It's pretty fucking funny. The snare. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't done it in so long. I'd have to fuck around with it. Get one or the other. I can't put them all together right now. Besides, my tongue is a little bit numb because I was drinking a little bit of kratom. A couple beers and some kratom. Cheesy dance. A cheesy dance. So I think I'm gonna claim this as my property for a while right here. I think this is. I mean, this is gonna probably be my spot for a little bit. I do like it. It's cozy. And also, there's another tree over here that if I wanted to adjust for the sun, I can adjust my hammock here. But it is cozy because I'm close enough to the sound of the fountain. I don't know who was here earlier. I was explaining. Look at the sound of the fountain, the water. A little bit of interaction with people if I want to. Close enough to, now that I figured out I can take a piss over there. And the duck, and some of the ducks come, well, the ducks will be right there. Lots of ducks. I don't usually play with the ones over here, if y'all don't know. Those are my friends, the ducks over there. I don't know if they don't really come over here. Maybe I could encourage them to come hang out over here. Oh shit. Peace out, Braintree. Peace. Enjoy your nap. Enjoy your nap. The nap arts. Oh shit. Shit and caboodles. Who else is left up in here? Peace out, yo. What should we dig into? Anything else? Or should I just call this a show and come back a little later? Because I do have to piss, although I could turn this into a piss break. I don't really have anything else on my brain right now that I want to talk about. So if nobody else is here, I will just remind you all that you can donate if you want to, because it's very helpful to my cause of living and having a roof and having a beer now and then. CashApp, PayPal, it's beneath, and Venmo as well. TsarXen, TSAR, capital. I think I capitalized ZEN. Might be XEN. I don't remember which one it is, but it's exactly as it says. Make sure you capitalize where it says capital. And also, if you ever need any help one-on-one with anything, you can holler at me at Theoluminous, TheoluMinous, means God light, at Gmail. Yeah, and as per usual, stay awesome, help people when you can, take care of yourself, be yourself, because everyone else is already taken. And I am going to get out of here. Good to see everybody. And I'll probably come back on later, because I'm feeling, now that I'm outside, I'm feeling a little more grounded, and like once I go back inside, I'll still have a little more energy. I might be able to come on a little later and have some more pertinent information for everybody. And we'll chat then. Until then, stay well. We'll talk soon. Peace out, everybody.